Hey guys, Zach Calhoun here. I hope you're doing fantastic today. I wanted to cover a quick mini training on how to white label your URL on cloudpanel.com. This is one of the most requested features we have on the platform, mainly because when a user creates a tour, they want to have their own domain name showing off that tour so they can get referrals and no one's wondering what platform is this guy using or what software is he using, how much does it cost. Those questions go away whenever you white label with cloudpanel.com. So I'm actually behind a tour right now, and there is an option called Brand Kit. And it's probably actually better I take one step backwards. So whenever you're on your dashboard, I'll click my dashboard button right there. You'll have all your tours will pop up. And this is just a demo account of mine, so you see some repeated tours here. When you click Edit, that opens up the tour editor of that tour, right? Very important. So I have my 4 photos from this tour are here. And if I want to change their names or move them around, I can. But all I care about right now is how do I use my own domain name on this particular tour? And how do I set that up? Well, to get you started, we created a white label URL checker for you. And you can even click Learn More and check out some additional training that we always send out to everyone via email. But for those who haven't seen that email, you're going to want to set up your own CNAME host record. And if you know how to do that, we have a free training about that. And once you do that, what will happen is you'll be able to test if that white label URL is properly configured. So I'm going to show you an example. I own the domain name with my hosting account. My hosting account is called Bluehost. There's HostGator, there's all kinds. I own the domain name called Virtual Tour Profit. Some of you guys have heard of it, have seen some of the content for that. We have a Virtual Tour Profit Facebook group. But with this domain name, there's typically host records that are automatically configured, and they call it a CNAME. And I'm not the world's best expert in CNAME host records, but I have done it. I've done this a few times, so I know kind of what to expect when I'm pointing to someone else's server, right? So all I own is this domain. Okay, let's just start there. Well, I have to go in and add a host record, click add, something called a host record, has to point somewhere, and I don't even know what TTL stands to live. What does that even mean? I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. You just basically create a host record. Some people put tours. I put view here for the example. I point it somewhere, so we want it to actually point to our app. So when a user hits that URL, they see our app, so app.cloudpanel.com. So you just set this up and save it. That's all you do. Really simple in the back end of your hosting provider, wherever you bought your domain. GoDaddy, wherever you bought it, doesn't matter. Keep it simple. Make your host record real simple, and now you're going to test it. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this snip right here. Go into right here, and I'm going to type in something incorrect. So I'm going to type in tour or tours hi. I'm just making up a messed up, incorrect host record. Dot my domain I mentioned before, so Virtual Tour Profit.com. Now I'm going to click test and save. You look here, we have this 3-step test, right? Configure your domain. This URL returned a 404. That means it didn't work, okay? So you need to update that. So right now, if you want to use, so we just show an example of some quick things you need to do in your host record and what they look like for a CNAME, okay? Where it needs to point to. We have a more detailed training how to do that, but basically just a quick, hey, it didn't work, okay? When you test it and it does work, so if you recall, I used view as my host record. So I'm going to type in view and click test and save. Now look at this. I'm on to step 2, certification. This URL is configured correctly. Please wait 24 hours. Everything looks good. Your URL is properly configured to point to CloudPanel. Just one more step. Please wait for us to issue a SSL certificate for your URL and check back in a day or two. Basically, a SSL cert is now industry standard across the internet to verify that your link is trustable. It's a good link and it's secure and it's not some wild West link out there. This is a great thing to have on all your websites, but in particular, you want people to view your tour without having any warning things pop up. This is a huge and very important deal. So we have to manually add this, okay? Just want you to know that. And whenever we manually add it and you come back and click test again, it will say done. Everything looks good.